Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Jam Easy Does It. I'm your host, James Jam Easy Cummins, and today on the show, we have the creator of the Dark Comedy Festival, creator of the iHeart Jokes Awards, and probably creating some more stuff as we speak. Guys, welcome to the show, Rob Mailloux. It's practically they're going nuts right now.
All right, good.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure that somebody was giving me what I deserve.
Have you ever been on a talk show before?
Yes. Have you ever watched the Being Frank or whatever the fuck it was called?
No, who's that one?
Some fucking lunatic. I mean, he must still probably live here. Frank D'Angelo got like a cable access show.
I kind of do remember this. Okay, yeah.
He would like sing on it and stuff, and he'd have comics on it and whatever. Yeah, I don't remember like what cable access he got onto, but
damn.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that one.
You're the new Frank D'Angelo.
I'm trying to be. But you know what else I just remembered? I forgot to turn that light on. It's fine. I'll cut this together. But.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Wow, don't we look better now? And also, I'm going to take my hat off because whenever I have a bald guest, I make sure to let my hair out.
Yeah, that's nice of you. I appreciate that.
It's
let me wear it.
You want to wear it?
Yeah.
Sure. Vancouver Grizzlies.
Vancouver Grizzlies, good.
Yeah. I'm not worried about his lice, that's for sure.
Dad hats don't look good on me.
No. How about? Do you ever wear your hat backwards, or are you a frontwards only guy?
No, I'm definitely a backwards hat guy, but I don't know about in a dad hat.
I think my head's way bigger than yours too. I'm looking how much space you got in there.
My chick said I had a big head yesterday, and I literally had to take out hats and explain to her I don't have a big head.
No, I have a big head.
Yeah?
They call it like it's a family trait. They call it the Cummins head. Whenever a girl's pregnant, they're like, I hope he doesn't have the Cummins head.
Actually, I might try a dad hat backwards. See if that actually
No,
suits
it didn't
me.
look bad on you. It just looked loose. It looked like I could put my whole hand in there with you.
Yeah, maybe a backwards dad hat. And it's always good if you have a chick to have a dad hat.
Yeah.
That's the only hat that they want to... Like, a chick looks like a lesbian in any other type of hat.
So girls don't look like lesbians in dad hats.
No, they look like hot celebrities trying to hide their hot celebrity.
Okay. I'm going to bring my dad hat out tonight and tell some girls to try it on. See
It's not a
see
bad
if this
move.
checks out. And your girl will probably watch this. Confirmed he doesn't have a big head.
Yeah, I don't... I have a very...
Why did she think you have a big head?
If you've seen baby pictures of me, my parents believed I had hydrocephalus, which is like waterhead or whatever. It's a nice way of saying waterhead. I had a big, goofy, downsy head as a baby.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's just taking... And then when you're bald, like... Because I have a lot of forehead, you know, because it's like whatever. But I don't... It's not actually a big head in like circumference.
Yeah, when you go bald, where does your forehead stop? Like, do you even know?
Exactly. I mean, you can see... I still like... Because I don't bick. I do... I don't know if I should look at the camera, I guess. I'm looking at myself in the mirror, which is smart to put behind the camera, by the way. But,
Yeah. I got that from Bill Burr.
Oh, nice.
Apparently, he said if you're doing a podcast by yourself, it's good to have a mirror behind it so then you can see your reactions to this, and you actually become more animated that way.
And I mean, just if you have an impetus to look at yourself, then technically you're looking in the right place the entire time. So that's
true.
also kind of nice.
And why don't we go on and say another bonus that I can tell that the camera hasn't stopped recording.
That's also very smart.
I'm so paranoid.
Yeah.
That and it's happened. So I'm glad that I do have it there.
You might have just added something to the Cast and Couch Studios because that is a really smart idea.
I got some ideas. Yeah.
But no, I just got a big goofy forehead.
Waterhead. They call it waterhead.
Yeah. Like,
what was the medical term for it?
Hydrocephalus.
Hydrocephalus.
Yeah. Which like sounds like a water STD.
It does. It sounds like something you get from fucking in a hot tub.
Yeah, like when somebody is yeah, exactly. When someone's like I caught chlamydia from the toilet. That's like hydrocephalus.
I remember like when I was in high school, I don't know if I had a bad health teacher or something, but she told me you can't get a girl pregnant in the hot tub.
Can you get a girl pregnant in a hot tub? I don't think you could.
I don't know, because then I fucked a girl in a hot tub years later, and she was like, what the hell? You just came inside me. I'm like, you can't get pregnant in a hot tub. And she's like, is that even true? And I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, I think so. I think my grade 12 health teacher told me that.
I would have possibly ran it by her first, but aside from that, it seems like, you know.
You know when a girl's like come inside me, but they don't really mean it, but like they're just saying it like to spice up the moment. But then at the same time, I was like, because normally I didn't come inside this girl, but I was like, you know what? We're in a fucking hot tub.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
This is the time. Yeah.
So I did it, and then we got the plan B after. But I do think if I did have a girl pregnant from a hot tub baby, that baby would come out pretty cool. Probably come out wearing sunglasses.
Oh, I will say, that's got to be one of the worst times to have to take Plan B is after a nice hot tub. You know, you're all relaxed.
You're all relaxed.
And like whatever, and then
you're like, fuck, we gotta go to Shoppers Drug Mart now.
My tummy hurts for the next day.
Speaking of Plan B, so I deliver Uber Eats, and you can do pickups from Rexall now. Mm. So one time I had a delivery from Rexall, and I'm like, let me check what these guys ordered, and they ordered a Plan B.
Nice.
I was like, you can. So if anyone is nutting inside a girl irresponsibly right now, you can order a Plan B from Rexall.
How much? What is that? Like, what's the premium on paying for it? Like, what do they pay? What is the extra cost on the Plan B once you bring it to them, roughly?
I'd probably say $5.
It's just an extra $5.
I think so.
That's
I don't think
worth it. Just to not face the person
Right.
is worth $5. Let alone it bringing you to your house.
Right. And so when I went, I'm like, I could have just left the order in the lobby of the, because they told me not to come up to the apartment. They're like, I'll come down. But then after 5 minutes goes
We
by,
plan on dropping a few more nuts in here before
yeah, right?
we take this.
So I'm like, I got to the time limit where it's like, after 5 minutes you can just leave the order. But I'm like, no, I want to see who this person is.
Yeah.
And what kind of person do you think it was? Boy, girl, race? Have a guess, because I'm sure you're gonna be wrong.
I'm gonna say it's a girl because guys will usually just cross our fingers and we'll deal with it later. So I would say it was her. If it's whose decision it was being made, it's a girl. And then we're gonna go with a goofy ethnicity because the white chick isn't fun. So we're gonna say it was an Indian chick.
Wrong. So well, I don't know what the girl was, but like a 16-year-old, 17-year-old Asian boy came down and did it. I'm standing in the lobby, thinking like, oh, this white guy's passing by. Oh, I'm like gonna go ahead. No. Oh, you're not here for the Uber Eats? Okay. And then all of a sudden, this young, like he couldn't have been more than 18, Asian boy comes and gets the Plan B, and I'm like, buddy.
Do you think they were just being like Asianly cautious about the whole thing?
Yeah.
Like,
she just gave him a hand job. And he's like, and fingered herself after.
Yeah. Or like he shot on her thigh a bit, and she got nervous about it.
That's another thing. I've had a girl like that where it's like you come like on her stomach or on her thigh, and then the cum starts slipping back towards her pussy, and she's like, "Oh, get a towel quick before I get pregnant." I'm like, I don't think that's how. I think once cum hits air, you can't get pregnant either.
Not immediately. I do believe that if you nut out, and then like have some and put it back in or something, like you could definitely do it that way. Because I believe there's a comedian whose child was like
spoon-fed into her pussy.
Yeah, like nutted out and it went back in. And got her pregnant by the post nut.
Damn.
A couple extra strokes.
Wow, that kid is a fighter.
Yeah, well, and so is his father. But cute kid. So it turned out fine. I'm pretty sure that's how it happened. So I think you can.
Can you say who it is, or
it's Lewis? I think Gomez is. I don't remember the stories out there. It's like it's not. I'm not telling stories out of school. It was like either like a pre-cum or a post-cum type of thing because they like weren't nutting inside and it happened. So I think it's possible.
Damn.
Yeah, but like I think you got a very small window of time to get the cum back in before it's viable. Like I think it dies pretty quick, but not right away.
I think my cum's not that good either. I don't think my cum's fighting to make a baby.
I mean, I haven't been the most responsible person in the entire world over my 36 years. And I've never had to be, as far as I know, a partner to an abortion. So I think, maybe mine not. Maybe just
no way.
I've never had to. So it's like either I've been incredibly lucky or just my percentages are low.
You don't have any kids?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Okay, so
I'm not that bad.
Well, I heard a rumor about you. That's why.
I have a kid.
So that okay. So first of all, I'll circle back to that in a second.
Please.
Like you. Okay, so. I didn't know you before.
Yeah.
You just came back to Toronto last year?
It's been pretty much just over a year now, yeah.
Okay. And since you've been back, I'll say been a very nice guy.
I'm all right.
Pretty helpful to newer comics, like giving them fun opportunities to do some cool shit. So like from my angle of you, from my time of knowing you, I'm like,
well, I do it all for my son.
Maybe. I don't know. But I'm like, this guy's pretty nice. I'm like, but then you came back also being like, some people hate you in this city. And like we're on a show together tonight. And the place didn't even put your name on the lineup. And I think you're closing the show, which is so funny. And so it's like there is some way that you've left a bad taste in some people's mouth in the city. So I'll let you say whatever. But one of the rumors I heard about you before I even met you is that one of the reasons that girls hate you in this city is because you have a bastard kid. Like you left some girl in like London, like apparently like you got a girl pregnant in London, and we're just like, yo, fuck you, whatever, I'm out of here.
That's awesome.
And that's a rumor about you, why girls don't like you in the city.
What, from who?
I don't know. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, but where did it come to you from?
I don't remember which one of them said it, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
But they were just talking about people like you were just coming back to the city, and they're like, I'm surprised he's coming back. People hate him because of that, and because they said you owed people money.
Yeah. Which the old people money was, the Ron Jeremy. We did this roast of Ron Jeremy, and it went really badly. So I owed producers of it money for like a while after. But like, also like, what was aggravating about it was that like, it wasn't. Nothing became about just like, oh, a thing went bad. Let's get him some money. It was like, well, then everybody tried to make all the ways I make money. They tried to shut me out of like doing any of that stuff. So it's like, okay, so you don't care about the people getting their money back. You care about like punishing me in some weird way. Whereas like, because like I could, I bring people in, I produce shows, whatever is what I do. It's how I make a living. And so they tried to like block me from doing that stuff. And it's like, well, if you want me to get the money to pay everybody back, it seems counterintuitive to cut me off of the thing where I make money. It seems like, and this is my own personal speculation, but it was like more personal than that for you. And so like, I think these are two rumors being wrapped up into one situation. Okay. So the only comedian I've ever hooked up with, look, for everything that I've, I've done well for myself over my time with women, but I've always been pretty wise to keep it out of comedy for the most part, unless whatever. I currently am dating a comedian.
Unless you're 19 years old, turning 20.
Yeah, she's 22. She's 22. It's very, very mature. But there was like a real like look, we had a real conversation of it just not, we can't be a hooking up thing. Okay. Like it has to be a thing, like I won't just hook up with comics. It had to be like a relationship thing. I wouldn't just hook up with a comic because the only other time in my career I did was this, and she put money towards this Ron Jeremy roast, and we lost the fucking money. So she moved to England. There's no child. Like that's just so like it's just a broken telephone of whatever things. Like it's funny because there certainly is no child, but although I do I do love that. I mean,
you're 100% sure she didn't take a baby on that plane.
10,000% sure there's no child.
I've seen that happen in movies like. Or TV shows, like one recently, like where the guy gets a girl pregnant, doesn't even know the kids.
No.
Kids are already 2 years old. It's like, by the way, this is your son.
Yeah, it would be like 11 now.
Would you be kind of excited if you found out you had an 11-year-old son? What if he was like a sick kid too? Like,
I mean, no, because I'd feel horrible that I didn't take care of a kid for 11 years.
I mean, it wasn't your fault if the girl left without telling.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Like you could,
but you still feel bad because, first of all, that's never going to be the narrative. I don't even have a kid. I'm already a fucking deadbeat dad. I don't even have a kid.
I know.
You know what I mean? So no, because the story's never going to be that it's not my fault that I didn't take care of this kid for 11 years. The story's going to be that I'm a piece of shit, and that's what the kid's going to think, and that's what everyone else is going to think. No one's going to go, oh, he didn't know, if some fucking table of 4 fucking people that you talk to apparently know about my child that I don't know about. So no, that wouldn't be cool in any way. But then I would try to fucking whatever. I'm adopted, so I don't, I can come into a kid after 11 years and be like, yo, my bad. Let's play some ball. Like I would do the best afterwards. But
like you think 11 years is tough? Try, how old are you?
36.
36. Never met your parents, right?
There you go.
But you don't know if they're alive or dead. And they don't know if you're alive or dead.
Yeah, no.
Do you think any of them watched your comedy and was like, my boy's done all right?
I feel like I probably referenced them too much, that if they had watched my comedy, it'd probably be like, it's us, I'm not that famous.
Or they'd be like, oh, that's not
us. Right.
They came to meet you at a show, and then they watched your comedy, and they're like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to meet this kid.
Yeah, we're good. Until that 4 off a bridge joke.
You wanna meet your parents though, if you could, right?
Here's the truth.
For content, at least.
Yes, that's it. I don't actually care. I just, look, this fucking career, you got to do something. Mm-hmm. And, it's like whatever. And also, truthfully, you probably never met Bobby Mayer.
No, I know the name.
Another comic from here actually that went to London, ironically. He's doing very well there. Also adopted. I'm sure this story is out. I'm sure he's told this, so I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. But also adopted. He had found his mother. Mm-hmm. Was basically decided like I'm gonna like kind of like follow her on Facebook for a month. I don't think he even added her. I think he just like was kind of monitoring her Facebook. She died in the month before contacting her. That he was just sort of like looking at in her life.
Yeah. You gotta fucking you gotta jump right in the pool. You can't
You
just
know,
dip your
yeah.
toe in the. My parents never saw me pool.
And my adopted mother died just about 3 years ago now. So it's like it started crossing my mind. It's like, well, if I ever change my mind about this, they could be dead. So that's also part of it too. Is just like I don't really care right now, but what if I have a kid and then I care for or what if whatever, and then I decide I do care and it's too late. I might as well I should
sure.
probably handle it.
Yeah. Your adopted parents, did they kind of look like you? Like, were you kind of
Weirdly, my dad looks a lot like.
So what age did you realize you were adopted?
So whatever they did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall. There is no like, let us sit you down and explain, that you're whatever. Like, I don't. There was none of that. So like, I just knew, but I'm not like a feeling. Like, I just always knew I was adopted. So I don't know when they told me, how they told me, but they did a very good job because it was never like a moment in my head.
I wonder if like they would read you bedtime stories as a kid, and right when you pass asleep, they just whisper in your ear, "You're adopted."
Well, I would imagine they probably read me bedtime stories about being adopted and shit. You know what I mean? Like that was
just
probably
normalize it.
Just like get it in there, like ugly duckling shit or whatever. It's like, oh, it's weird. You don't look, But I do weirdly look like my dad. He's like a swarthy guy too. He like got pulled over one time because they thought he was like this Colombian hitman. Like so, he's got kind of like a darker look too, but just French.
The word swarthy means dark?
Swarthy, yeah, it's like dark features. Yeah.
Swarthy, okay. I never heard that one before.
Yeah.
Just thinking of like how to make that racist, like these swarthers over here.
I swear, I think there is like a hint of racism in it. Like, I don't think you generally refer to someone as swarthy complimentary wise. Like, I think it's sort of like he's a swarthy gentleman isn't supposed to be good, but like, I think you want to fuck swarthy, but I think you're also supposed to not to trust it.
You want to fuck it, but you don't want to leave it in your house for the day.
Yeah, if you leave the room, it's got to clap its hands to make sure it's not stealing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Being adopted, do you think it makes you like, say you were dating a girl that has a son already or a daughter, like to be able to step into a stepdad role in that more? Would you like? I don't know why my mind went to this place.
Yeah, I just started raising my 11-year-old kid I don't have. So like, yeah, a little bit. Like I'm way more open, I think, to adopting a kid than the average person would be because I'm like, the DNA, the genes don't mean nothing. Like I don't care if it looks like me. I don't whatever. And I didn't need that for myself. Now, if I had a bad experience being adopted, maybe I'd think differently about it, but it was just fine for me. So.
Right. If I was to date a girl that had a kid, and I have before, but just for a little bit, but I to be serious with them, to like actually take on that stepfather role, I think I would need the kid to at least be able to pass for like related to me.
Hilarious.
Doesn't have to look just like me, but like, yeah, because the girl I dated was like black girl, fully black kid. I'm like, but if it get to the point where I'm taking him out for the day, like just me and him, I think it's gonna look kind of weird.
Here's what's funny: I could do black girl, black kid,
but you couldn't do white girl.
I couldn't do white girl, black kid.
Yeah.
Because then it would just look like someone came by and fucked my wife.
Yeah. No, I've thought about that one too, but
that one's tougher to me.
I'm pretty much against serious relationships with white girls altogether, anyway. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. Right, fine.
I don't know why, but I think I was brainwashed as a kid. My cousin.
Do Jews count as white in this particular instance?
Jews or whatever they want to be, and I
you just gonna have to let them be like, you're not white, whatever.
Who am I to tell anyone what they are? You know what I mean? I was at the club on the weekend, and it was like with a bunch of hip hop friends. So there was like girls twerking in the booth and everything, and it was fun. And all of a sudden, I see this ass shaking next to my head. Someone standing on the couch. I'm assuming it's a girl's ass. I turn around and it's a gay guy. And I'm not homophobic, but I am sexist against guys dancing on couches. I don't think a guy like gay, straight, whatever. If you're a guy, stay on the floor. Don't dance on the couch.
Just hard surfaces. I'm not even like you know, get up on maybe even a table or something. But anything that's like,
yeah. And then I asked my buddy, I'm like, whose mans are these, yo? and he was like, I don't know, but like I'm afraid to tell them to leave because I don't want to come off as homophobic.
Yeah.
And that's the world we're in right now. So congratulations, gay people, you've made it.
We once got kicked out of a bar in Romeo, Michigan, the home of Kid Rock, for what at the time I had assumed was for being sarcastically gay. And then I realized afterwards, I was like, oh, this is Romeo, Michigan. They probably kicked us out for being gay.
Why? What gay stuff were you doing?
So it wasn't so much me. I'm not like a big pretend to be gay guy. But my friend Topher, who I started comedy with Topher, and he's unbelievably funny. But real like, you know, had his demons. So he got sober and he's out of comedy now. But Topher was the type of kid that would like put a dick in his mouth if it was the funniest thing to do at the time, you know? Like that night ended with a choreographed dance sequence between him and his friend Max, where Max's dick did end up in his mouth. Not like this way, like a, like it was the end of it, like a ta-da, you know? Yeah, not someplace necessarily I'm willing to go, but it was always like, you know, it's always funny when he's doing it. Now, we didn't get that far in the bar, but they were definitely like, you know, pushing it a little in the bar, you know, in that way. And like Topher's life is very interesting. He grew up in Romeo, which is like obviously like sort of a backwoods kind of, you know, where Kid Rock is from, a very red part of Michigan. His dad got a job writing for Ford, like for the Fords, writing speeches. His dad was like his dad's alive is what I'm trying to say.
Wait, when you say Ford, are we talking about the president or
Motor company?
Okay. Because when you said writing speeches, I was thinking
Henry
Ford,
no, it makes
President
sense.
Ford, right?
Yeah. But that was Gerald Ford. Henry Ford is the president of Ford.
Right.
Yeah. So like Henry Ford Jr., probably Junior, I imagine, or whatever. But so his mom like ran for Congress. So they moved to Grosse Pointe when he got that job. Grosse Pointe is the 7th wealthiest community in North America. So he went from like the sticks to this very, now also still kind of Republican area of like near Detroit. Grosse Pointe's like outside Detroit, but it's close. And like wild community. Like I went and visited him there once, and old friends of his stopped and were like, we're on our way to play polo. Like they were unironically going to play polo. Like that's how like rich this neighborhood is. His mom ran for Congress there for the Democrats, got killed because the Democrats just get killed there in that like district. She posed for Playboy. So he and his dad wrote speeches, but was like the 3rd best accordion player in like America at the time, and like was like an acid guy. So like,
and their son is the guy that put the dick in his mouth.
Yeah, because he just grew up this kind of like weird outsider kid, and he just like I feel like probably had to do a lot for like attention in that particular place, and was just like a weird liberal kid amongst all these like stuffy rich people. So he just always has been comfortable doing like the weirdo shit to get a laugh, you know?
Yeah. And probably to embarrass his parents a little bit too. Do you think it's a little bit of that?
I don't think it would embarrass his parents. His parents are very liberal that way. Like again,
his parents are too.
Mom ran for the Democrats and posed in Playboy, and his dad was an acid guy who played the accordion.
Fair.
You know, like so it just they were like this fish out of water family in that community. Okay. Yeah. So
they'd be disappointed if he didn't put a dick in his mouth.
Kind of. Like they would have laughed and clapped at the ta-da. You know what I mean? Right, like they would have been like, that was well put together.
The rest of the bar was like, get the fuck out of here.
The bar wasn't thrilled with it. And then we drove home, and we made a very Michigan choice of taking the dirt road like back so that we were being safe. And we were going pretty fast on this dirt road, and we pass a cop going a decent clip on a dirt road, and the cop does nothing. And in my head, I knew immediately. I was like, the cop recognized that we made the responsible decision of taking the dirt road and just let us go, because we wouldn't have hurt anybody else. We would just kill ourselves. So
that's true.
You know?
Yeah. You ever been in any car accidents?
Yeah, bad one.
A bad one?
Yeah, that's why I left New York the first time.
What was the worst one you've been in?
I've only been in one. Oh. We were doing this run. It was going to be like Nashville, Atlanta, Asheville. I don't remember exactly what the 4 cities were, but basically it was like a run of 4 cities. So instead of, 3 flights back and forth plus the in between, we just drove from New York to Nashville. Barry lived in like upstate New York, so he was going to meet us in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So me and Kurt supposed to leave New York at 7. We leave at 11 because Kurt. And we're in like a fucking terrible storm. Mm-hmm. And literally at one point at the beginning of the drive, it's nothing on the highway until we see this jackknifed transport truck across the lanes, which we like luckily saw with enough time to like slow down, get around it, whatever. I remember us both being like, oh fuck, that was what God had, like that was the one, that was what was supposed to get us or whatever, like joking about it. And so we get to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, we pick up Barry, and we drive maybe another 20 minutes before we hit a patch on the road, and we're next to a semi. We're like at its trailer, and we both hit a patch of ice. And so the trailer is sliding, and I don't have control of the car at all. So the trailer,
you're driving.
I'm driving.
Okay.
So the trailer gets like on the top part of the hood, basically, which immediately obviously on the ice slows us down. And then we hit the back tire, we spin like a couple times, and the truck just keeps going. So, I don't even know sometimes in my head if the truck knew whether or not it even hit us, to be completely honest. But we were fine. It luckily like hit the one place nobody was sitting. Everybody was all right. And then like the car was enough to like drive to a hotel and leave. But I rented the car under my own insurance to save the fucking tour a little bit of money.
Right.
Which ended up costing me like $10K.
Right.
And then got no help from them. And then, whatever. And like, I still like, there's a animosity between me and Kurt, I guess. Like, honestly, I'm just fine.
So what's the animosity? The fact that you wanted to split the money and he's like, fuck you, it was your fault kind of thing? Is that what the falling out was? Or what was
I mean, the idea of helping me with the money just never even came up. Like didn't even.
From his end, like what's the animosity?
Kurt needed a fucking traveling credit card. And like, once I was going to be an extra $10,000 in debt, like I couldn't just keep going out on the road to like take care of everything. Because the guy, like, he couldn't handle anything. So like he needed everything to be fronted. And then like you were like waiting to even get shit back. It was a fucking mess. And I don't want to go too fucking personal into the details of the finances and shit with it. But like I'm just somehow blamed for this. Like I was like trying to get hit by a fucking transport truck or something. Like I would be curious to know what his angle even is for being upset. The only reason I even know he's upset is because his producer asked me to be on his podcast once and Lewis gave him the don't from behind because I guess Metzger still has a problem with me. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like I got hit by a truck. I paid for the entire fucking thing. Like I don't know.
Weird.
A little frustrating, but yeah. So
you have Rob, you got a couple people that don't like you and it seems like you don't know why they don't like you.
Well,
so maybe like Taylor Swift said, you might be the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely unlikable in some fashion.
I haven't got a chance to get it yet.
Yeah.
But maybe if I knew you for 5-10 years, I'd be like, oh yeah, no, I know.
Truthfully, here's the thing. One, I take a ton of swings. I take endless swings. And like things are gonna go wrong. You know what I mean? Like the Ron Jeremy roast was a gigantic swing. Everybody's paid back from the Ron Jeremy roast.
And that one was a failure just ticket sales wise?
Yeah, and then like I got a little fucked over by the production company last minute. They were supposed to get paid off the back end, and then they wanted money up front, which shifted $10,000 of stuff to like, having to take care of that because we had to film it. The idea is we were going to film this roast and then put it online for $5. We were going to do like at the time what was known as the Louis C.K. model.
Okay, yeah, I heard about it.
And basically like roasts had become too big on Comedy Central. Right. They were doing Bieber and whatever, and we were like, let's like create, and roast battle was huge. Like, all the competitive roasting was at its biggest, and it was like, all right, let's go back and find like, let's go back to it's a B-list celebrity with great comics and like actually like firing away at somebody fun rather than like all these huge celebrities are insulting Justin Bieber. So, and it was, we had Schultz on it. It was one of the biggest comics in the world now. We had Tony Hinchcliffe on it. Red Band, who was still Rogan's producer at the time. Like, we had Lisa Ann, one of the top porn stars in the entire fucking world. Screech, Dustin Diamond, Screech from Saved by the Bell. It was put together well. The actual content is fucking fantastic. It just wasn't filmed at a quality high enough that, like...
to make money off it after.
It just didn't, whatever. So... yeah, I lost like $30K on it, and everybody's paid back from it with fucking interest and shit, even on it too. Like and like there was just never any like I wasn't going to pay anybody back. It wasn't like even an option. It's just like a thing went very wrong, and like anyone else that like said out the money, fucking I'll refrain from saying her name, but like I keep hearing that over 20. This bitch wants to go fucking, he owes me $20. The next time I see her and I have a $20 bill on me, I'm throwing it at her fucking feet. I went through every place she could have sent me a fucking message. Yeah. Instagram, Facebook, like a text, fucking anything.
Yeah.
Never asked for a fucking 20. I guarantee there is no fucking $20. She just wants to be in the fucking game. And like, I owed one person money from that. And it was
$20.
No, it wasn't. I don't think I owe her $20. No, I owed the other person like a substantial chunk. Like they put money in, but they got it all back. They have it back with interest. I got the fucking receipts. Like I'm not a fucking whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, there is something at some point too about people who constantly hit you up for spots for things, and then like. Like I remember the third dark comedy festival I ever did. I spent $75,000. I risked on it. I had David Tell. We did the Roast of Iron Sheik, Gilbert Godfrey, Bobby Kelly, Big J, Mike Lawrence, Brody Stevens, like
R.I.P.
all these fucking shows, right? And like another person who has said something about like a $20 or something I've owed them, like a show I wasn't at.
Yeah.
They begged me to get on.
Right.
And then they want to go talk shit about $20. That's like, I just forgot, man.
Right.
I got a lot of fucking shit going on.
And
the $20 for a 10-minute opening spot on a show I didn't fucking think about wasn't like the biggest priority for me to think about mentally. Just remind me, you know?
Right.
And it's like, but they don't want the $20. They want to be in the like, let's shit on Rob Mailloux fan club. And if the cost of admission is $20, it's worth it.
I feel I don't have a story with you, but in terms of like, there's been times where I've been shorted $20 or something. Like, okay, one person that said, I'm going to put you on 2 shows, it pays $100 a show. Sick. I did the 2 shows. He sent me 160. I said, oh, I thought it was $100 a show. And he's like, oh, no, it was 80. I'm like, I sent him. And then I just showed him the email. I'm like, yo, if it was 80, I'm like, if it was a miscommunication, fine. But here's the message you sent me. And so then he sent me the rest of the money, and then he never booked me again. So now I'm like, I have it in my, and that's happened with more than one person where I'm like, I don't, like, I'm not a like money starving guy. I'm not like trying to be a dick or anything. But if somebody tells me what they're going to pay me, like I'll ask for that. But in comedy, it's like sometimes you feel like you're an asshole even asking for what they...
No, and always ask for the fucking money. Yeah. Like this is my problem with, clap, erase her name is like, ask me for it. You don't want $20. You want to go around saying I owe you $20 from some fucking thing that it thinks you puts you in some club, because this is what happened.
The Rob Mailloux owes me money club?
Well,
how many people are in that club?
It's not, I mean, like maybe 3, and I don't know, and tell me. And right now, Ben Bayfield, you're one of them. I got to fucking get you that $50 from the other week, like that type of fucking thing. And like, so this is what happened. One, right before I left, I was not popular amongst...
Right.
So they made a Facebook group called Comedians for Racism, Sexism, and Homophobia, and then they made it a picture of me. That was the first thing they did. Because there had to be a bad guy for them to exist. Like, their game means nothing if there isn't, like, a bad guy for them to go up against. And this shit constantly exists, right? And now there are, like, actual conservatives and stuff. Not that I even think that's a problem, but, like... I'm a Bernie bro. Like I'm a fucking I'm a liberal guy who got arrested at the G20 and did Occupy. Like I was such a hilarious target for their he's this guy this. It's like now so all that's left is just of 4 people discussing my fucking bastard child.
Right. That's it, man.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you have a kid and fucking owe a lot of people money.
If she I'll give her that $20. She can send it to my fucking kid.
You're right.
Yeah.
But give her 40 if you can find the kid.
Yeah.
I'll double it, yo.
Yeah.
Put you on a little mission.
Yeah, double or nothing. If you can find my fucking double or nothing on the $20 I don't probably actually owe you. Yeah. If you can find my bastard child, I'll make it 40.
That'd be sick, man.
Yeah.
If she did though,
hey,
it's a happy ending.
It's a cool bluff. I mean,
you've never met somebody related to you. Or do you have a sister or brother that you've met?
In the sense of adoption.
I'm talking about blood relative.
No,
You've never met a blood relative. So that would be the first one.
That'd be my first blood relative. Yeah. So if you can find them.
That's all right. You want
at this point we're just not clapping her name out, I'm assuming.
I mean, I could.
Yeah, I really don't care.
I mean, I probably should. I don't even know. I don't want to be seen shitting on female comics. I have it tough enough as it is, man.
Well, you gave yourself a fucking urban comedy name, so that didn't help,
Yeah. I know. I think back on that one, but then when I tried to change my name back, everyone's like, "No, I don't want to call you James." So it's like,
well, I started. You ever heard the legend of my first year in comedy and what my name was?
What was it?
I was Doug Pumpkin for the first year.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Because I was a big fat guy.
How fat were you? Fatter than me?
Yeah, I was 280.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture?
Yeah.
Send it. Put it up here.
All right, cool.
Well, I want to see it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man. It's so stupid because When I started, I just had shirts with Jam Easy on them from my DJing days. So I'm like, oh, if I'm getting into comedy, I'm obviously going to sell merch.
Yeah.
I didn't even try to sell merch. I sold like 2 shirts just because somebody saw me wearing one at a show and they're like, can I get one? And it was another comedian.
Yeah.
So I never even put the effort into selling the Jam Easy merch. And then within a year of me starting comedy, so the old Jam Easy symbol used to say Jam at the top, Easy at the bottom, and then this in the middle. This became fucking white power.
Yeah.
So then I canceled that out
That's
anyways.
fun. Yeah.
So yeah, really like the merch had a short shelf life once I started doing comedy anyways, because within a year it turned into that. And then I just got stuck in this name. But then now when I'm like, okay, just introduce me as James Cummins. Everyone looks at me like, what? Who's James? Now everyone like people that like me like calling me Jam.
Yeah.
And even like my own friends, like for most of my 20s, like I haven't heard the name James in a long time.
Yeah, it is fun calling you Jam.
So yeah,
it is likable. Yeah. Well, I could have sold pumpkin seeds. That'd have been easy merch.
I could sell Jam.
Oh yeah.
I've thought about it, putting it in a squirt bottle, so it's like you don't have to fucking use a knife.
Where
So
do you
it's
sell
easy.
Jam
So
in
it's
a squirt bottle?
Easy. Oh, is it? I thought that was like the genius
No,
idea.
but if you
because
did,
it is the easy Jam. It's the Jam Easy.
But if you did that, just take the labels off of it, and then just have your own
relabel my
stickers. Change everything, dude. I had this weed dealer in New York, and he explained to me he didn't believe in like copyrights. He was a weird guy, but so he would just put like Tootsie Roll on, like he would have edibles that were Tootsie Rolls that but he'd put the real Tootsie Roll labels on them.
Yeah.
And then so
your girl has to be make sure you're not with another girl or something.
Yeah,
I used to have friends like that. Oh, can you say hi to my girl? Make sure.
No, I think she's just trying to whatever. But anyways, hi baby, you're on to
Jam Easy Does It.
Jam Easy Does It.
Jam Easy Does It with Rob Mailloux.
All right, I'll call you back as soon as we're done. Okay. All right, bye.
Can I see the fat picture of you?
Yeah.
You were pulling that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And while you're pulling that up, did you? I seen one thing on Instagram recently: the pros and cons of having a threesome with your girlfriend or boyfriend. Have you ever had a threesome while you're in a committed relationship?
No, not in a relationship.
I've never had a threesome at all.
I had one, but way too young. I had one in grade 10.
That's funny because I got offered one in the summer of grade 10. I went to summer school with this girl that used to give me hand jobs under my desk. I wouldn't come, but she would just play with my dick. It was a lot of fun. One time she was playing with my dick while my friend came up to talk to me about like playing NHL after school or whatever. And I just started bursting out laughing. And he's like, oh, you're getting your dick rubbed right now. That's my first headshot. Whoa.
Yeah.
They're a different person.
Yeah.
You look like somebody else. I forget who you look like, but somebody
Durst. I had a chin strap.
Somebody that's not that funny. I'll try and pull him up here. All right, whatever. Fuck it. Cut that part out. I will say this: the Nashville cop that had a train run on her, right? Everyone's been talking about that. 5 guys, 1 girl, 4 of them got fired.
5 guys, 1 girl, 4 of them got fired.
Yeah, so 2 guys didn't get fired.
How?
That's what I'm wondering too. So what do you think? 2 of the guys couldn't get their dick hards.
Yeah, I didn't. Is there a video of this? Wasn't there a video? No.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they only want like mouth.
If you didn't fuck her pussy, you can keep your job.
You know what I mean? Like you're still suspended for a bit.
Listen, we're not gonna fire you for a blowjob.
Yeah. That might have been. Yeah, that might have been.
2 guys were just jerking off in the corner, and they didn't actually participate.
Because they did it at work too, right?
Did they do it at work? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
I haven't looked into it that deep.
Yeah, what would the justification be?
I noticed like 3 of the guys were a little bit darker skinned than the other ones. I'm like, I wonder if those are the 3 that got fired.
Well, there was like a big black guy that was in it for sure.
Yeah.
Did he get fired or did he keep his job?
I didn't look. See, I should have done more research.
Yeah, okay.
But 1 guy was white, which good for him for even just getting involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of confidence to even want to join that party. Yeah.
I've never been invited to any of my friends' trains.
Did she get fired? I'm assuming she got fired.
She got fired. She's one of the 4 that got fired.
Okay.
So out of the what did I say? 5 guys?
Yeah.
3 of them got fired.
Guys got
2 of them kept their job. And now she's got offered $10,000 from a Nashville strip club to do 2 shows. And I looked up what she was getting paid as a Nashville police officer. The highest paying ones, so even if she was at the top end, is $53,000 a year. So $10,000 for 1 weekend is pretty good.
She could do 5 weekends in a year and be good.
She could. But I don't know, like...
Do you get to keep your tips after that too? Like if they pay you $10,000 to strip, Also, she was ugly, from what I recall.
I wonder what they're paying her to do. Like, maybe she doesn't dance, but maybe she's just gonna like. What is she gonna
Like a meet and greet?
Well, yeah. What is she doing? Is she hosting the night?
Take pictures with the fucking whore cop?
Is she just having guys run a train on her on stage? Is it a sex show? I don't know.
Huh.
Like I said, I haven't done the research, but I just found that interesting that she could make that. Like that's the thing. Sometimes you get blessings with these offers coming in right after. Now you've had a lot of ideas for different kinds of shows. What's the worst idea you ever had
Oh, that's interesting.
for like a theme or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah. Huh. What was the worst idea I've ever had? Well, I mean, financially, the Ron Jeremy roast, I guess. But
But that one, it wasn't that it was a bad idea. It was bad follow through on the production.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. The only one that's coming to mind is like I ran the show that was like it wasn't Casting Couch because it was just a stand-up show. But imagine all the freak shows of the time that we have on Casting Couch on one show.
Right.
And then trying to do it at a comedy bar.
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of a nightmare.
I kind of had something similar to that. I called it Bompton's Top Comic, and I just invited all the people that like bomb everywhere else, or just have really weird, wacky acts.
Yeah.
And then I had two guys that were like good at roasting, fucking make fun of them after their set. So it was pretty much like thing. And then, but my fun little thing was that first place gets $50 cash, last place gets $5 in loose change.
Nice.
Because we celebrate the bomb of the night.
Yeah,
And we would play the Kurt Angle song, and the crowd would chant, "You suck."
Nice.
Oh, it was great.
Are you a wrestling guy? You were in the.
Yeah.
What are you doing for the Royal Rumble?
I'm gonna be in London.
Fuck.
Why? Where are you gonna watch it?
I don't know. I gotta try to.
Because it's on Saturday instead of Sunday.
I know. I hate to do this.
Because I would have been. I actually, out of all the wrestling, like I don't watch a bunch of pay-per-views, but the one that
Royal
I'll turn
Rumble's
into,
the one you watch.
So fun
And it's
because you
the
never
one-
know who's gonna come out.
And you.
Oh,
Don't,
you didn't know?
You
What
can
the fuck?
watch it
Roadhog
with
just
casual fans.
Yeah.
You don't need like actual people. It's fun to bet on. Yeah, it's the best one. We used to do it at a comedy bar. What?
You gamble now?
I don't
thought you were
love
against
gambling. I'm not against it. I just don't like. It doesn't bring me joy that way. Like I'll bet on the Super Bowl every year because I don't have a team. So like to make myself care, I'll put a little bit of money on it so I have a reason to watch it with everybody.
Right.
Like I bet strategically just that way.
Okay.
I bet if it's I'm going to watch this thing and I don't have a built-in rooting interest, so paying a $20 bet now gives me a reason to give a shit about one team or the other.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if you want to make a bet, go to DraftKings.com, enter promo code JamEasyDoesIt. I don't even have that promo code yet, but I'm going to try and make it happen.
Hey, sure. Whatever.
I emailed them. I'm waiting to hear
I
back.
might actually be able to help you with something with that.
To just get a promo code for that?
Not them, but maybe Bodog.
Bodog? Sure. I mean, does that work in Canada?
We could just use Bodog. Whatever. You can still bet from Canada in Bodog.
Okay, because Ontario, the rules are wacky now.
Oh, maybe you can't do that. Well, I don't know. We'll talk about this later. I don't know what the
We'll figure
legalities
it out.
are.
Either way.
I have a connection, but I don't know if that's... Yeah.
We're getting promo codes. One thing I will tell you is, guys, if you got mold in your house, go to Mold Canada. Oh, wait, no, that's not even it. If you have mold in your house, go to moldsolutionscanada.com. Tell them Jam Easy sent you. That's a real sponsor.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
That's fucking perfect.
I was waiting for something bad to happen and be like, oh, that stinks. You know what else stinks? Mold. Guys, go to moldsolutionscanada.com.
I love it. Would you have some friend that runs a mold company? That's
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I might even work there one day. Every once in a while, he throws me a day of work. So,
nice.
Yeah, man, there is some place in Toronto right now, a comedy club that has mold, and I've been telling them to call my boy. If you're watching this episode, you know who you are. Get that mold out of there.
Is it my club?
No, but so many people go there and they're like, it smells like mold in here. I'm like, oh, it's mold in here for sure.
Yeah, but sometimes it just smells like BO too.
Yeah, that's... What's the idea that you're the most proud of? Like, is Casting Couch your favorite baby? Or is it the one that you left in London, England, guys?
Yeah, honestly, probably, because it's the first non-stand-up like thing that I'm doing that isn't me directly doing stand-up that like I feel like I'm thriving at. You know, like I control that show really well. You know, if I have to be the good guy, I can be the good guy. I can be the bad guy. Like we found a real rhythm. It's always wild now. Like the show's perfect. I mean, we're not successful with it whatsoever, but like it's the type of thing that's like every time I'm never afraid for people to see it. Like come see that show.
Oh, it's a fun show. I love doing it. And I love being a judge on it. Some of my favorite nights are just coming to judge that because just have drinks and have a good time on the couch. But that's another one that you guys need to step up just start making clips. Even if you don't record the whole show.
The whole club needs to become a content hub, and that's the goal for it long term. Everything I'm doing now, I had a really good talk with Tyler Morrison's dad, really like focuses on his career. And it's like, we got to really start looking at like, it's funny, you said the thing about comedians being selfish. And like, I think a big detriment to my own career is just not having been selfish this entire time. Like all this fucking work I put into isn't been like for somebody else, like even if I'm trying to benefit maybe financially off, you bring somebody in, you make a little bit of money.
Right.
But like, I look at that. Anyways, I don't need to get too deep into my fucking resentment.
You want to be a little more selfish.
It's not even like, look, Casting Couch can help everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a tide that rises all ships. You know what I mean? Like if that show starts taking off, now the people that do it regularly are helped. The people who judge it regularly are helped. Like that helps everybody. But it is mine and it is about me, you know, and Baxter and the other judge and the people. But like, it's a project that is mine now, finally, that like with all this WWE shit going on, I've with like Vince McMahon and whatever, IPs, my new buzzword is just IP. It's like, it's an IP. It's my intellectual property.
Have you
No. Oh. But because none of that shit matters. Because this is the thing, is that people can get mad. There's the people that do the Kill Tony. It's, it's like Kill Tony, whatever. Okay. But watch anyone else do it. Someone else try to go do that show. I guarantee you it doesn't go as well. Like the formula works for a reason. I run it a particular way, and when you're watching it, you might not pick up on the nuances of what I'm doing, but like you got to steer that ship so carefully or that show sucks. And like, so I am like, it's the first thing. And you know what it is? It's just doing a podcast live. Having people in front of you.
Right. It makes it more fun.
Well, and it forces you to make them want to laugh.
Yeah, you have to perform.
Because you're like uncomfortable if you're not making people laugh. But if you just do it in a room, like, I'm not like necessarily trying to kill right now. Know, like.
No, you haven't been.
Yeah. Well, I thought this was more of a introspective.
I'm just kidding.
But that's the thing. Like that is. Like if I did this style of podcast, I wouldn't be as funny and I wouldn't have as many lines as I do on. I mean, I come away from every Casting Couch with 5 lines that I'm like, that was a fucking solid on the moment riff that I came up with or whatever. It's like, that's on like a podcast when you're just in a room having 5 lines that you feel proud of is like tough, you know, like I just don't work that way. So like, I like having people there and I think that's why it's worked. So yeah, it's the thing I'm most proud of because I mean, things have made me more money and they've been better, like bigger and more people have seen them and whatever. But that show fucking rules.
But your goal right now is to still go back to the States. So then what happens to Casting Couch after you leave? You just start doing it over there?
It goes.
Yeah.
And honestly, like there's no point in leaving right now until we have it that I can go to New York with that show, go to the club I want to go to and go give me 1 time slot a week to do this show. And you have another new hot live podcast here. Like, it doesn't make sense to do it until that happens. And there's no reason why the show shouldn't be at that level. It's that good. We're just not putting it online.
Right. No, No, it's a lot of fun. And it's very fun to attend live. Like, the crowd, the people, sometimes it's only a small crowd that shows up. Sometimes it's big. But either way, the crowd that does show up, like, they get super into it. Maybe 2 people leave because it's too much for them.
Yeah.
But that's just fair warning. But the people that stay, they get into it as if it's a sport.
Yeah.
Instead of like a comedy show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's more cheering and yelling and stuff like that.
And like, and the people that have liked it have shocked me sometimes. Like, there'll be a family that comes in and you're like, fuck, they're going to, if they stay 3 comics, we're lucky. And by the end, they're like, like they're probably like, we'll never tell anybody we were here, but like the show ruled, you know, like it's a fun release, man. It's especially in this market. There isn't anything like that here right now. Like, they got Skanks in New York. There's Kill Tony in Austin. They've got live wild shows where people will say offensive shit. We don't have that here, and it like is filling that really well. It's just my own like my biggest problem when it comes to anything besides stand up, and is why I love stand up the most, is because you can adjust it every night and you can take a line out and you can put a line in. You can make things better, but with these things, like when I want it out perfect, and I just need it out.
Right.
You know, I want it to be filmed as well as Kill Tony. You know, I want the sound to be as good as Skanks.
But then, like, sometimes it's better to just start.
I know.
Because, like,
I know.
if you look at old episodes of Kill Tony, it's not what it was now.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
And, like, it's not that hard to just get the sound down because all you have to do is plug in a
H4n.
We'll talk about it after, but there's no reason that it shouldn't be doing that already every week.
The reason Casting Couch is important, and by the way, for female comics more than anybody, and Gigi has grown a ton as a host and a ton as an improvisational stand-up comic because she does Casting Couch. And, like, if you can learn to do your set, respond, and then get back to your set, because too many of the, I will say, my criticism of people who do the couch a lot is too many of them show up now week to week with no set.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be what the goal is.
I think that's what I do when I go.
But you don't, you show up sometimes and, like, you're also a guy who does get to do the couch. So it's a bit of a different thing. Whereas, like, the
one time I came in, I tried to do a set. I just remember getting shit on so much by Armin, and I was like, this isn't fun right now.
Yeah, well, it's like,
I was like, because I like riffing back and forth, but when it's just like interrupting jokes, like, that sucked. I was like, oh man.
So, like, Freddie Jan does the most impressive job as anybody doing the couch.
Nice.
He does his joke. He lets if a line gets in, he looks, he responds to the line, and then he gets back to his joke. And what he responds with is funny. The joke is good. He goes back. He doesn't shit on it. He doesn't stomp the format down.
Right.
But he still gets out some of the stuff he wants.
In and out. Yeah.
And like, you know, it's funny. Max Sheldrick is doing this Thunder Bay gig this weekend coming up that me and Tyler did. And I think of that gig, and that's that gig is the reason you do Casting Couch. The Saturday Late Show at that gig.
Is this at Crickets or somewhere else?
No, it's a different guy. He, like, that show, they were pretty hammered, and the energy was, like, really up and like chaotic, but because I know how to think on my feet, because I can go to them and come back, go to them and come back, I could control, and it was a fucking, like, one of the shows of the year. If I wasn't confident and they could smell on me that energy could take over the show, that's a bomb.
They would have buried you, yeah.
That's a bomb.
Right.
And, like, so, like, when you leave the city, like you said, audiences can take over a room like that. And the Casting Couch gives these people, like, if you do it correctly and you learn from it, it gives you that ability. If you can handle me, Baxter, and you, or me, Baxter, and whoever, and sometimes, like, Mark Norman and Joe List and Rich Voss have done it now. Like, if you can handle Rich fucking Voss, me, and Baxter, you can handle any fucking asshole in Oshawa and still do what you want.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the, because especially for female comics, because young female comics, male and female, and this is why of the three of them, sexism would be the one I lean towards, because I do think there are, like, distinct differences, especially in comedy with young comics. Young female comics start out very presentational. They start out like, this is what I wrote down, and I want to say it exactly how I wrote it down, and then I'm going to come off. And guys go up and go, I'm funny. You know? Fuck the work. I'm funny. You know? And so, like, guys have a bit more of that and then need to learn how to take this seriously and then also be funny. Girls need to learn how to be looser, and, like, Casting Couch will shake you out of that fucking rigidity, and, like, that's why they're afraid of it. But it's also why it would benefit them the most.
Ladies, if you're too tight, go to Casting Couch and loosen up. Out of all the Casting Couches, from the ones that I've been at, I think the best one was, and I didn't even go up this night, I just came to watch, was the Rich Voss one. Was that the best one?
It was perfection. It was, like, wild, like we want it to be wild, you know, because I'd say of all the bigger names we've had do it, Joe List was the worst one.
He didn't get involved that much.
We didn't get involved, and that was also partially like we weren't comfortable enough with how to involve them. We let everybody get their set off too much. It wasn't the show. By the time we got Rich, and then Mark Norman too was really good, we knew what the fuck this was by that point. And it no longer felt like, oh, this is like a Joe List show and we're uncomfortable. Like, now it feels like we're inviting them into our space now. You know, like, we've got control of the show to the point where we can go. And then now they can sit back and just add shit.
Right.
And Voss, I mean, you couldn't ask for a person more designed for that show than Rich Voss.
Like, they're still a special guest, but you don't treat them that special, which is the trick.
Yeah.
Because
The show
when you
is what's
treated them
funny.
too special, it's like it threw off the show a little bit.
And that's the thing. When Mark came in, and Mark did a great job. Mark's hilarious. And he's, again, a great comic fit for the show.
Yeah.
But we treated it like Mark filled the room. The show is the show.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of what we have to look at going forward is like, we're confident in the fucking show. I think that show's as good as anything. So
Yeah. No, it's great. Yeah. The next time I'm doing that show at the Royal, Justin's one, I'll put the date up here. Can I judge on Casting Couch that day?
You're in.
Okay, so guys, come out to Casting Couch on this date. I think it's February 19th,
I
but
think
if not,
19th is correct.
yeah. I'm pretty sure I saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So there you go. All that talk about Casting Couch. Come on out, February 19th. Check me out there. Anything else you want to promote before we wrap up?
Nah, we're good.
We're good? All right.
Dark Comedy Fest on Instagram is where all the like show schedules and stuff are up. So that's probably for the
Hell
best.
yeah.
And royalcomedy.ca. I guess we should probably plug that too. The website doesn't suck anymore.
Oh, it doesn't? I gotta check that out.
It's completely like the new ticketing site redid the website for us entirely.
Yeah.
It's like it's so much better. It's gonna change the club.
There's two things I forgot to ask you. One thing is, just because I think people want to know, is as a guy that's done comedy in the States and over here, like when you went over to the States, how hard was it to start like getting spots over there? Or did you go there with stuff lined up already?
No, it was hard. You know, it's funny because what happens, and I think people that end up knowing some people there and they go back and forth, you get this diluted sense of what it'll be. Because when I would just go sometimes, I got spots because I was just popping into town. But the second you live there, they're like, yeah, get in line with everybody else, dog, because you ain't special no more.
Right.
So it is tough.
It's actually easier as a visiting comic than a guy that lives there.
100%.
Unless you're fucking already fucking pumped
very
up.
established, yeah. So, you know, unless you can move tickets. I mean,
So
that's
how
what the
long did
game
it take
is.
you to get regular spots?
It's a year.
New York?
Wherever you move, you're going to eat shit for a year.
Okay.
Yeah. Every time you move, you eat shit for a full year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
And
something
you
to
will
look forward to.
notice after a year, you start going, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like this is starting to move.
And then, as a Toronto comic, like you seeing the scene here, like how much better are the because from what I hear, Toronto is like second only to New York. Like when people go to LA, they're not like the comedies are better out here. Or when people go to like other places in the States, they're usually like it's better back home.
That was the case.
Mm-hmm.
I contested for like, you know, because it's hard to consider because like people just go to New York at the end. But if you exclude New York and LA, Toronto was the best comedy scene in the world when, you know, K-Trev, Mirage, DeBonis, me, Pavone, Nathan McIntosh, Bobby Mayer, Dylan, Steph, Tolev, you know, like all these people were here. And the thing that made us good was that because like in New York, I think it's a bad place to start because there's this weird showcasey pressure all the time. And you get slick before you get funny. And here you get funny and original. And we don't get slick because we're not showcasing.
Right.
There's very little club time. Like the clubs are all sort of self-produced, not real clubs. There's no gatekeepers anymore. No one really cares about yucks. Like you don't mind getting with them, but it's also not like this thing anymore. This juggernaut. So like, yeah, I feel like it's not, what it was. It has some problems right now, and you know it had probably a lot to do with like stifling of a bunch of people. The politics got in the way. The gatekeeping became comedians instead of, and I'm as guilty as anybody. I'm a fucking comedian producer. I produce a ton of shit, so technically I'm a gatekeeper. But like all the gatekeepers, you know, say what you wanted about Mark Breslin at Yucks or anybody or Jason at Absolute or whatever. Those gatekeepers were gatekeeping and with what a particular thing in mind. And now the gatekeeping is I have a show every month at Comedy Bar. I do Wednesdays at Comedy Bar. And I love Comedy Bar, but now the gatekeepers who run these individual shows and they're comedians for the most part and they have perverse incentives. So it's kind of stifling things because now it's like it's more important to be friends with. Understand that what they mean in the end is that the only safe place to do comedy is their shows. And wouldn't you know it, who takes the door from their shows and who doesn't split that door with you? And then who tells you who's their fucking hero? The girl who capitalizes off of you, doesn't share the profit, and then tells you everyone else is bad and scary so that you don't go out and see the rest of the outside fucking world and realize what the fucking wizard behind the curtain's actually doing. And this has always been the case. These shows, there has been comedy schools or classes that do the same thing. They warn young female comics that the rest of the comedy scene is dangerous and not to be trusted. And that hurts them and it lines their pockets. It is not good. It is transparently a manipulation and it's fucking evil. And like any female comic that is in that fucking cabal of that lady or any of the other ones that whatever, I am happy to have a conversation with you about it. Please reach out. Rob Loves Arguing. I know it's an aggressive Instagram handle.
Or just come to Casting Couch.
Or come to the fucking
and
show.
talk about it live.
I'll sit there for an hour. You know me, even when you didn't know me. I'll sit there for a fucking hour with you, and I will tell you everything you need to know about the business. Yeah. I'll tell you what a fucking...
A bit long-winded.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll tell you everything
there was so
you need
long
to
that
know
you're like,
about
will this guy shut up?
Yeah.
But
so,
yeah, no, that's nice that you're at least inviting the conversation. And I have really nothing to say about it. Women, you're doing great. Guys, you're doing great too.
No, but I think it's important to say it to them because I feel bad. You know, how many funny women get involved in that shit and get scared out of actually making a career out of this thing. They keep you in this hobby mentality where this isn't even a thing. You can only do Our Little World, which you'll never get to the next point. Nobody ever gets to the next point only doing one very incubated point of comedy. You have to go into the rest of the world at some point. But she doesn't want that. She wants to keep you there because you make her money now and you give her power. It has nothing to do with keeping you safe and has everything to do with keeping her in a position of power without her having to put in any effort and actually getting good at what she's decided to gatekeep herself.
The whole time I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, am I going to keep her name in this episode or what? Not even for you. I'm just like, I just don't want to be a part of drama. That's just my own thing. But
I'd have a conversation with her about it too. I'll have a conversation with any of them about it. And I don't think she's like, probably even knows that's what she's doing. Like even when it came to
Right.
Hey, give us a show, or I don't know, maybe I'll write a blog about how JFL's full of fucking rapists. You know?
Thanks for coming to the show.
Hey,
and
I fucking put so many people on blast.
Yeah. It'll be a hell to edit, but I think we had some fun along the way, and yeah, man, check out Rob Mailloux at Rob Loves Arguing and at the Casting Couch Sundays. Peace. Oh, and your podcast. What do you want? What's your podcast?
Quackery.
Is it out?
No, not yet.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, Casting Couch Studios.
All right, peace.
Bye. Cool. Thanks, man. The show's canceled.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Right.